G'day thrill seekers, Shane Watts from Dirt Wise Academy of Off-Road Riding Schools here. Today we're going to talk about stand-up sliding. Like, quite a few people comment in our YouTube videos about, hey, what happens when the front wheel tucks as you're standing up going along the trail? The other day I was out here filming just the trail. I had a massive one, nearly went down, nearly got splattered on that one where the front wheel tucked on me. I'll put the link to that video in the bio here. You go check that one out, but massive save. Now, what happens here is you gotta have really good sliding skills is what we ultimately wanna have to be able to conquer these situations. What causes these front end washouts as you're going around a long corner, usually quite slippery, skatey, whether it's like out here in this gravelly area or whether it's muddy, slippery, slimy, whatever it may be, there's a couple of common causes for that. First off is you come up to the corner and you start leaning it over and you don't commit, you're not confident enough, you don't carry enough speed. And because you've got the bike lean over, you need a certain speed to stick at that lean angle. If you don't have that confidence, that execution, that application of the continuous speed through the corner, you start then have to turn the front wheel in tighter, turn the steering, and that increases the angle of the front knobbies towards the ground. That's where she starts going ahead and starts sliding out, especially like you notice that when the ground is very slippery and skatey. Another common cause is if you just come in too hot, too fast, and just you go past the coefficient of traction that the tires can stick to the ground with, that will start the front wheel pushing on you. Another one is if you are coming along and on the trail, you start to bite the inside edge of the trail, if it's a little wallowed out there, right? The front wheel starts tucking on that inside edge. To cure that, you just need more speed because it's a little wallowed out. It means a little bit of an outside bank surface there. So you go a little faster, sticks to the outside. That's more on our corner out technique that you want to utilize there, being able to stick the front wheel, stick the wheels out on that bank surface. All right, so the other thing is that causes it is if you don't set the bike up well enough. And what I mean by set it up is come into the corner, and if you can get it backed in somewhat, like supermoto, like dirt track, and once you can get into that counter steer position, from there, you're golden as long as you can keep sliding around the corner, if you can transition into the power slide. And that's what we're going to look at here today. Now, with these conditions out here, very slippery, very skatey, very gravelly, but there's some pavement, old pavement underneath that makes it very pockets of traction. So I'm gonna have to watch this one a little bit. Today I've set myself up with some very shitty tires. Got these old tires here. Check out, not much knob there. Quite a bit of pressure still in there. So it's gonna be very skatey. Trying to replicate the conditions that we'll see. Same with the front one. Front one's even better. Got down the front here, no side knobbies whatsoever. A few knobbies in the front there, all right, and we are good with that because as long as we can keep ourselves in that counter steer position around the corner, the front wheel will not wash out, even with zero side knobbies. It will never ever, it's impossible for that front wheel to wash out as long as you can be in the counter steer position. Now, with our sliding, there's 4 key points related to that, whether you're sitting down sliding, whether you're standing up sliding, whether you're sliding in a straight line doing grinding. The 4 key points are the body position, the lean angle of the bike, the throttle position, but more so, the counter steering. That is the golden part of sliding. Going ahead and being able to counter steer and be able to keep that slide going all the way around. And we'll see that when conditions are very skatey, slippery today, if you just come up to the corner and lay the bike over, turn the front wheel in, check out those knobbies, a very sharp angle to the ground. Very easy for the front wheel to wash out. However, if you can be in the counter steer position, in the slide position, the drift position, you go to the counter steer, now check out those knobbies. Flat to the ground, no worries at all. Alright, so that's where it's critical to have excellent sliding skills. We'll do another video here on how to transition into having really good sliding skills. This is going to be more difficult today, doing the stand-up slide. You don't want to do that on sharp turns, generally speaking. You generally want to be sitting down for that, but we'll cover that in another tip. All right, I'm going to go set this up here. I'm going to go right around. I'm going to come on into the corner. Now, when you're out on the trail, you need to initiate the corner, initiate the action by going ahead and either put more weight on the inside foot peg, and that starts tipping the bike in, and or go ahead and use a bit of upper body and just use your arms to tip the bike down over like that, right? So that's the general way that you want to go ahead and start leaning the bike into to initiate the corner. Sure, you use just a minor bit of turning, but it's like on a street bike. When they go around flat corners, they don't turn in. Instead, they actually say you turn the other way. It's the lean angle, all that stuff. So on off-road to initiate, a little bit of weight on the inside foot peg, and that tips it on in. From there, you transition your body weight to the outside foot peg. The majority of that weight is going through the outside foot peg, going down through the tires at 90 degrees towards the ground. And that gives you increased traction. And that's where you hear that weight the outside foot peg going around a flat corner. That is only true, that terminology, when you are standing up. It's not true when you are sitting down. Because when you're sitting down, you have your foot off the foot peg on the outside if you wanted to, and it would not matter because the majority of your body weight's going through your ass cheeks into the seat, straight on down. But when you are sitting down, you sit up on top of the bike as best as possible. Again, we'll do another ride and tip on that one. So we'll see you're coming on in, gonna lay it on over, tip it in. Right, from there, first time through, I'm just gonna sit down because I'm scared, because I know I'm gonna most likely crash if I was to stay in the standing position, but I'm just gonna turn the handlebars sharp. And that lack of front knobbies on the side there is just gonna make the front wheel push. And it's gonna be like tuck in the front. From there, I'll come back around, I'll do it again, and this time we'll set it up and do a little bit of, hopefully we'll be able to just back it in with that lock up the rear brake, but may need to lock up the rear brake just a little bit at the end, just a tad, to help set that rear tire out, just like Supermoto. You see Supermoto, those guys don't lock up the rear tire because they're very consistent traction. It's very easy to judge. So hopefully you should be able to come in and back it in without locking up. From there, we need to transition straight into the power slide then. And you do that by whilst your brake and leave that throttle on a little bit, fingers on the clutch, modulate that rear brake, don't just stomp it. And once you transition into the power slide, and then around you go, and you're gonna have to go ahead and use the upper body weight, use the lean angle of the bike, use the throttle and the counter steering to guide the bike around the corner, try and get a nice smooth arc. Sitting down, it's way easier because you can put your foot out, you can help stabilize the bike with that inside foot skimming across the ground. That's why stand-up ones are a little bit more difficult. But here we go. It's time for less talking, it's time for more riding now. So watch those things in action. You see I'm standing on the foot peg with the foot peg in the middle of my boot. You are not going ahead and standing on the balls of your feet. That is incorrect. Once we come on in, we'll modulate the brake, we'll initiate that lean angle in. First time will be steering sharp, front will wash out. After that, we'll get into the counter steer position and be able to guide around. You will not see the front wheel wash out on the last 3 attempts here. Right, so quite inconsistent on the traction here with the pavement underneath this loose gravel, so I was a little scared, a little intimidated by it. It'd be better if it was a little bit more consistent out there. But hopefully you saw that stuff in action. First time through, front was tucking. Second time, third time, fourth time through, come in, set it up by backing it in, either by doing supermoto, just the deceleration effect. Once you start leaning the bike over, the rear comes a little light, it steps out a little bit on you. From there, we then transition straight into the power slide. There's no interruption between the slide, and then powered on out all the way around. Nice smooth arc using the throttle, the lean angle, the body position, and more so the counter steering to control that bike. One of the last, I think maybe the last one, locked it up the rear tire a little to help set it out. No worries, just to demonstrate that. So that's a difficult one when you can't put your foot on the ground, if you don't put your foot on the ground. So if you're interested, make sure you come along to one of the Dirtwise riding schools in the future. 2025 schedule will be up on the website very soon. Check out the link for some of the links in the bio for the other videos. All that. Got the instructional DVDs. Got many different things going on here at the moment. If you want to come out here to Utah and come ride with me, go ahead, hit me up. We'll get something lined up. All right, no worries. Get out there, get roosting, get practicing there. Find somewhere where it's very skatey, very slippery, very consistent, and then work on your skills. Remember, the big part is try not to let that front wheel tuck when you set the bike up, so you can be in the counter steer position.